Hi guys, welcome back to Mental Health Monday. My name is Michelle McQueen Bradley with Counselor 96, here to be your international counselor. And today we're actually going to do social media or technology part 3. Right now I'm actually reading a book called Changing Our Minds, and it's been revised over and over, and the last time it's been updated was 2019. And then right after was COVID. Think of that. But it's called Changing Our Minds. This is what the cover looks like. You can get it on Amazon. And the subtitle is called How Digital Technology Affects Our Children and Disconnects Us from Reality and from Each Other by K.S.K. Toombs. And so when you think about that, I really had to pick this book up immediately when I saw it, because I knew the importance of when I'm working with children. I'm not just working with that child. I'm working with the family that they're growing up in. I'm working with the society that they're exposed to. I'm working with everything that that child is been influenced by. And so this book has really been helpful. I'm going to read some points here for you all. And it's way too much to really get into some of the depths of what I've been finding here, but just some things. And this is in page 57, and there's a part here where it's talking about the iGen generation, and they call it iGen like iPhone, and it's the iGen generation where they're connected to the screen. And it says, I think we like our phones more than we like actual people. And these are children that have said this. I think we like our phones more than we like actual people. And can you kind of think of some people that actually think this way? And that's a very dangerous direction, because then they're losing that healthy connection with others, because it starts to affect your reality, your moods, it's anxiety, depression, all that's on the increase, and this certainly has a part to play. And remember, in the very beginning when I started part 1, there are pros and cons to social media. Of course, right now I'm using it with you all, but there are some cons to it that I really want to bring to the attention of the world, because I want everyone to be not deceived by what the enemy is doing, bringing something that looks good, but it actually is evil. Here's another part, page 61, and someone said that right now technology is considered weapons of mass distraction. Think about that. So you know how we normally call it weapons of mass destruction. This is weapons of mass distraction, where it's distracting children. In fact, let me continue reading page 63. And as you can see, I'm just throwing out one-liners. It says, in light of this trend, research indicates that the majority of iGen children also spend most of their time at home in their bedrooms attached to their screens. That's what we're seeing. A lot of children are not coming out of their bedrooms. They're glued to the screens. That's their way of motivation. That's their way of thrill. That's their way of getting that fix that they need if they're addicted, because all of this is addicting. In fact, they created it to be addicting. And you know, you guys, this is not just happening in America. This is happening all over the world. In fact, as I read this book, some of the very larger numbers that I'm seeing is in Japan, China, and you know that's where a lot of this technology has come from. And I kind of didn't think it would be over there. I know they have a lot of great programs and a lot of great things that they're doing, and so I didn't think it was as bad here, but it's actually worse. And so we have to definitely be mindful of the deception that the enemy is doing. And then the last part I want to share is in page 68 and 69. And do you know that, of course, like I shared, the weapons of mass distraction and the lack of connection that people are having, now we have an epidemic, not just anxiety and depression, but of loneliness. And so I didn't know this, but I read in the book here, page 68, starts in response to the loneliness epidemic, In 2018, the British government appointed a minister for loneliness, charged with developing and implementing anti-loneliness strategies. I think that's important to have a minister like that in our world, in the British government, in every government. But they actually have that program on how to implement anti-loneliness strategies. And then it goes on to a person that had died alone, which is an epidemic. Many who are dying alone. And this person, though, committed suicide. So they're giving an example of someone who had hurt themselves. But this is what this says. It says the last entry written by this person just hours before he died said, "I'm going to jump off this bridge. If one person smiles at me on the way, I will not jump. If one person smiles at me on the way, I will not jump." And so I'm a huge fan when I work with people, and also in my everyday life, that I always share Jesus Love You tracts. I'm a huge fan of sharing the gospel everywhere I go, being a gospel walking person, a Bible walking person, because I feel like any and everything I do can keep someone, for example, off jumping off a bridge. And so I'm grateful for the Lord that He's given me that power on the inside, that hope on the inside to be that for others. And I hope you be that as well for others, because if children are being stuck in their rooms, that's exactly what the enemy wants. Doesn't want them to come out and be amongst people that can give them hope and love again. And so I appreciate each of you for being here. Actually, I want to read my one verse. Hallelujah. Hebrews chapter 10, verse 25, and I'm reading it in the Message translation. It says, "Let's see how inventive we can be in encouraging love and helping out, not avoiding worshiping together as some do, but spurring each other on, especially as we see the day approaching." So as we see the day approaching soon for Jesus to return, the importance of encouraging one another, loving one another, helping one another, that will all be vital in these last days. You know, what's being on the trend now is virtual reality and video games and all kind of things on the screen, and it's keeping people glued to this. Be sure to have your healthy connections. They're vital. They're vital to your spiritual health. They're vital to your physical health and your soul level health. So I appreciate each of you. Have a wonderful week. Have a wonderful day, and stay connected to others that you love and love you. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.